I recently received a ban on Twitch because a representative from Rare sent a DMCA claim to my Twitch account for simply streaming their game while being previously banned. On the night of the ban, I had been streaming with Crud for 4 hours or so, and then I got banned from the game. This was far from the first time that this has happened. I had always suspected that someone from Rare was watching my stream and finding my account in their servers to ban me while I was live, as it had been happening on and off for the last year or so. After the first ban, I evaded and swapped to a new Sea of Thieves account before joining one of my other friends, as I suspected that being in Crud's crew had something to do with how fast the bans were happening. I was in my other friend's crew for less than a minute before I was banned again. After that, I evaded again, this time playing solo just to test how long it took the Rare employee to find me, and the count lasted only 4.5 minutes. At that point, I swapped to the joke game a friend and I had made as a parody of Sea of Thieves, Pirate Fighting Simulator, and joked about how I'll just play this game instead because it was a better game anyway. After playing that for around an hour, I went to bed, changing my stream scene to an AFK drop farm. I admit that I was in the wrong for doing the drop farm stream. I had seen other streams in the Sea of Thieves category doing it way more blatantly and decided that I would be fine to do it as well, especially if I was actually playing for most of it. A few hours later, I woke up to a DM saying that my Twitch stream had ended and my channel went missing. Obviously worried, I checked my email and found a copyright takedown notice on Twitch. It was from Rare. After banning me in-game 3 times and seeing me just joke about it and swap to PFS, I can only assume that this Rare representative had gotten mad that their ban efforts on me had done nothing to stop me from staying in the Sea of Thieves category on Twitch, and decided to escalate the situation by sending a DMCA claim. The reasoning they used in this claim seemed very unprofessionally written, like it had been sent by a heated individual, rather than being authorized by a company as big as Rare. Looking at the form for a DMCA claim on Twitch, it doesn't mention anywhere that the recipient would see what they wrote, so I don't think they expected me to see this. The way they wrote this claim paints me as this evil person that has been banned hundreds of times from their game, and 3 times in a single day, which sounds absurd without knowing that each ban is simply for evading the last one. All of this is happening because of a Redbeard that happened 4 years ago. This is the screen that I've been seeing for the past 4 years. I was originally banned from Sea of Thieves in August of 2020. I was 15 years old at the time. The previous night, I had stream sniped someone in Arena on an alt account after a petty argument in their Twitch chat. The account was named Rocco22GetBanned, which was relevant to other streamer drama at the time. I highly suggest that you watch a video Breeze made discussing all of the early banning drama in Sea of Thieves, as it will provide context of how ban happy Rare was at the time. I'll leave a link for that in the description. All I could see on the website was that my account had been banned for quote-unquote extreme toxicity. In my first support ticket, I tried to deny that I had done anything wrong, then added another comment saying that a permanent ban was way too harsh for whatever they think that I've done. This obviously didn't help my case at all. I was very emotional at the time after losing my account that I had played on nearly daily for the past 2 years, which is very clear in this and any other of my future messages. When they replied, I was told a more specific reason for my ban. I was told that I was banned for advertising cheat programs, stream sniping, and showing extremely toxic behavior, and that there was nothing they could do to help me with my ban. To explain the advertising cheat programs, at the time, I was being accusated fairly often in arena games, so I thought it would be funny to bait people even harder by putting a fake Sea of Thieves cheats link in my bio, that would instead direct them to a Minecraft cheat client if they were curious enough to click it. Rare took this the wrong way and assumed it was real, which I can understand. The stream sniping part of the ban was definitely legitimate. I had little understanding at the time of how serious stream sniping was in gaming. If I found a streamer in game, I would bring up their stream just to hear them rage while being killed. I didn't think that I was gaining any advantage by doing this because of stream delay, and thought that it didn't matter if I already greatly outskilled the streamer as I was going to win the fight anyway. Since becoming a streamer myself and dealing with the same issue, I now understand how irritating and unfair it can be, and I apologize to anyone who had to deal with this from me. For the extremely toxic behavior, I would have to assume that it would have mostly come from spawn camping, sinking people, or the streamer encounters. I definitely did shit talk on occasion, but nothing deserving of a permanent ban or the label extreme toxicity. I never threatened to harm anyone in real life, said slurs, or anything like that. I was very angry upon reading this response. What I thought was a harmless joke to mess with people in my Xbox bio was seemingly the leading cause of my instant Redbeard. I was too full of rage to think about what was best for getting my account back, and instead berated the support agents for not looking into my situation before slapping me with a permanent ban. They then closed the ticket. Unhappy with the result, I opened another ticket the next day, where they told me that I had been banned for instances of toxicity on this and several other accounts, including over 51 reports of toxicity and abuse on this account alone, even though from memory the Rocco22 Get Banned account was the only alt that I had at the time. I also find it strange how they mentioned the amount of reports that I had. Any decent player in Sea of Thieves gets reported, whether it be from people thinking that you're cheating or thinking that you're toxic for simply killing them. But the weirdest part of this final response is that I had no idea that I had any of these 51 reports. They kept all of this from me until it was enough to just permanently ban me with no warning. This is the part that I find the most unfair about this ban. It may seem obvious in hindsight, but had I been told that what I was doing was this serious and may result in my permanent removal from the game, my actions definitely would have changed sooner. Keep in mind that at the time, I was a stupid teenager surrounded by others doing the exact same thing with no repercussions, so I didn't have any reason to think that I was going to be banned. After accepting that my main account wasn't going to be unbanned, I evaded the ban and started playing on a new account so that I could keep playing with my friends. Even after just playing the game without doing anything else wrong, I kept receiving bans for simply ban evading. Rare just needs to understand that people are going to ban evade in their game no matter how hard they try to prevent it. The way they handle ban evaders encourages them to do whatever they want, as they get banned regardless of whether they actually break any rules again or not. That is definitely a factor in the amount of cheaters that we see nowadays. Not that I'm in any way defending the use of cheats. Since I was getting banned no matter what I did, I started using the 125 exploit when the game came out on Steam. Although it's quite a controversial topic in the Sea of Thieves community, I did not personally see any advantage to it, and simply used it because of how much smoother the game felt to play with it. I stopped sometime in 2022 when I was starting to get a larger audience on YouTube, so I tried cleaning up my image for the general Sea of Thieves audience. Towards the end of 2022, I tried to reach out to Rare multiple times to try and figure out an agreement, as I did not see the point of them using their time and effort to continuously target me when the only part of their terms of service I broke was ban evasion. And if I stopped getting banned, there wasn't anything else that I was actually doing wrong. I sent out a support ticket on one of my alt accounts, in which I was simply told by one of the support agents that they couldn't help me, and that my account was not going to be unbanned, which isn't even what I asked for. A couple weeks after that, I tried contacting one of the senior community managers on Twitter, which went completely ignored. A couple months later, in April of 2023, I tried yet again to try and sort something out with Rare, this time getting a partnered Sea of Thieves streamer to try and take it to Rare directly, but yet again, I was told there simply wasn't anything that they were willing to do. A month later, I posted a link from the Insider program for Sea of Thieves, showing that they were going to remove Quickswap, which used to be a very overpowered exploit where you could shoot two guns as fast as you could press the keys to swap between them, making it possible to instantly kill players at range. It had been nerfed years ago at this point, where an animation cancel was able to be done to let you shoot the guns 1 second apart by simply sprinting between the shots. Even though it had been nerfed so heavily, the stigma remained. The mainstream Sea of Thieves community still complained about losing to people with two guns so much that Rare eventually decided to nerf it even further, which I found incredibly unfair to those who had spent the time to perfect it. After trying for literal months to get in contact with Rare and getting nothing, I decided to leak it, mentioning that Rare is going to keep banning me whether I do this or not, so why shouldn't I? The Insider program is incredibly easy to sign up to, requiring just a Microsoft account and ticking a box that says you're over 18 with no verification. Every active Sea of Thieves player has Insider, so everyone knew about it, but they couldn't say anything about it until it was added into the game. That's why I decided to get the conversation started earlier. This had no real long-term effect. It started some Twitter drama and not much else. They implemented the change, made guns more clunky, and that was it. That was over a year ago at this point, and they are still coming at me at full force, banning me usually every week or so, until the most recent Twitch drops for Sea of Thieves when I received the DMCA. I just can't comprehend how Rare sees constantly banning me as beneficial to them. It just seems like a waste of a community manager's time that could be looking into banning cheaters. The only possible conclusion that makes sense to me is that someone at Rare has a personal vendetta against me.